There we go. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. At 6 minutes after 8 on a beautiful Thursday, 11 June 2020. To the South Africans, good evening. To all our viewers from around the world, because we've got plenty. For those of you who don't know, we did the numbers and we're on about 3.6 million. So, welcome to an attempt at the sports show. It's an essential service. For those of you who missed the sports action during COVID-19, no masks or hand sanitizer is needed, only data or Wi-Fi, and the gears of a sports fan who misses live games more than smokers who miss buying cigarettes legally. I'm your one host, Dalen Oliver, and the facts man and the sportsman, the other host, Carl Lewis. Away.
How's it, Dalen? Good to be back. Good to be back. I'm glad Clyde kind of did his thing today, and we're back on the air, although we're 6 minutes late, so we do need to have a debrief about that. But happy to be back with the team. Hello to you and Clyde.
Yes,
and the viewers.
Yes, I'm so excited to be back. And for you this week, I specifically, if you didn't pick it up, because you didn't even say thank you, I scripted an introduction. I want you to be proud of me. Like, I genuinely did.
I am. Thank you for making the effort. It means
Love
the show
it.
means a lot to you. Thank you, Dalen.
It means everything, bruh. Listen here, our fourth show, we're very excited, but we're still in lockdown, level 3. How's things? Hoe is alles by die huis?
All good. All good.
Nice.
I think we got an exciting weekend, which we'll talk about in the topics of sport coming ahead. So that will kind of change the flow of the weekends. But I love this lockdown. I really like being at home with my family, and it's lekker. And we got a fireplace, so I'm enjoying that part of it. And I look forward to the weekend now with La Liga and Coppa Italia. And your side, how's it going? Enjoying lockdown?
I'm coping. I realized I am still not ready for winter because I have holes in my socks, so I'm wearing 2.
And look at the hat you wear. It's like winter.
This is so bad, right? My gown has become my office attire. Like, a gown has separated office and sleep attire. I don't know if it's the same for you, but my hat, check here. So this is my hairline now. My hair's I didn't cut it since lockdown. I'm gonna give you a cricket analogy, right? Here's a cricket analogy. If I was to describe my hair, right, remember that my head is the wicket keeper and my hairline is fine leg. That's exactly what's happening. So yeah,
Not a bad one.
to all our listeners and viewers, if you want to roast us, please roast us. If you want to send in your comments, please send in your comments to the locals and regulars, Natasha, Peterson, Jacobs,
and
all.
Yeah. Any questions? Because I think when we get questions from anyone who's watching, I think that makes the show even better. And I think me and you enjoy answering that. Should I give a quick rundown of the format of the show again? What do you?
Cool. So, Lewis, this is your show. You can do whatever you want, bro.
So just to remind, if there are any new viewers, Dylan and I have selected 6 topics. We'll spend 3 minutes on each topic. Our good old trusted producer, Clyde, has organized a timer for us. So you will see the actual timer, and we'll try and stick to those 3 minutes. Thereafter, we have a special guest, World Cup winner and Springbok, Damian Willemse, is joining us for 25 minutes to half an hour. So I think it's quite a lekker show we got planned, Dylan.
Very excited. So just like Carl said, Damian's joining us in about 20 minutes time. If you have any questions for him, which I know you do, we're rugby crazy, please send them in. Okay, he's one of our homegrown talents. We love him to bits. So send questions in for Damian. Really cool guy, and we're gonna get the inside scoop. Louis, I think we're ready to get going. And what better way to start off than from the rugby front, man? SA Rugby is very confident. CEO Yuri Roo saying that they've submitted. I love this. They're 500-page document. That's a lot of pages, bro. To Department Sports, Arts and Culture to get the thumbs up, to hopefully start play in August, if not earlier.
Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, they're confident. They thought that they would start on level 1, but it seems that the government might allow them to begin playing at level 2. But I think with the New Zealand Super Rugby sides having their own competition, which starts this weekend, I'm quite excited for our little competition that we create on our own. And also the Springboks are going to be playing. So it's very exciting, and just to see our boys back on the field, never mind the impact of COVID had on the original tournament, but just to see our boys back on the field, I think it's quite exciting, and it's an opportunity for rugby to kind of shed its old skin and come to the party with something new, you know. And I'm not only talking about here in South Africa, but as a global sport. This COVID-19 could be the chance for us to kind of change the calendar, change how we think about the game, change how we do business. I don't know.
It's the new normal, and we all have to adapt to the new normal. From a fan's perspective, what I'm very excited about, even though it's behind closed doors, televised, you'll still be able to watch it if you're fortunate enough to have pay TV that plays reruns during COVID-19 because they played Happy Gilmore because they don't have enough sports content on the super sport shows, right? So what happens is we get to see, like you said, our top tier players. When I say top tier, I'm speaking from our Springboks down to our experienced campaigners with that underlayer of amazing young talent that we haven't seen maybe play together over the years because of numerous.
And there's some returnees like Sia Khaleesi. He was injured. We'll get to see him play because I felt like after the World Cup, 2020 was a huge year for the skipper, you know. He's just been a World Cup captain, and this was kind of the year to cement his legacy in a way, or just start this new phase of his career as the Springbok captain. But I did want to touch on something with regards to SA Rugby. Yuri Roo earlier this week spoke about a private equity company, I think CVC Capital, possibly getting involved, or they rather are in talks with SA Rugby. Now, this is a good thing, seeing that it's a good thing and a bad thing. The Pro 14 clubs in the UK, they got 300 million rand, I think it was, or 300 million pounds. I'm not 100% sure because of private equity.
Be good at maths. It's fine. Don't worry.
Thank you. So this could be a huge cash injection for us. But there's also this private equity is known to gut the companies that and really extract that profit from us. So I'm very worried about the smaller unions at play. And a few of the things around the major sports, the major teams in South Africa. Next.
Wrap it up. I like that, Carl Lewis. Private equity, let's be careful, but we're excited to see our local talent in action when domestic competition.
Watch out for that.
Hey, Bro, football-wise, I'm so excited. Before we even get into the PSL and ABSA pulling out as a sponsor, 2010 FIFA World Cup, 10 years later, 11 this time, last year, 10 years ago, I had a moustache because I grew it during the World Cup. We were celebrating because Chabalala blew us away with some magic, bruh. What a special time. What were you doing, bruh?
I like to watch sport at home, so I was at home. I was at home on that first day against Mexico, but the rest I watched with friends. But I just remember, everyone talks about the vibe because the vibe really was good then.
Amazing.
And also, don't forget that South Africa, the country, had a debt surplus around that time. So we generally were in a good space as a country, but our things have kind of changed.
Yeah. So let's reflect and be happy about it. Look, locally, I'm a bit bleak with ABSA withdrawing sponsorship from the PSL, a 16-year relationship, 13 as title sponsor, and 140 million a year. It's a big loss, but I hear there's some takers.
No, there is potential suitors for that prize. I mean, look, domestic football does not struggle for sponsorships in this country. I mean, they bring in, last year was their first year, they hit $1 billion in revenue. So the local game is not poor. And it seems like Bidvest, who are selling Bidvest Vits, might become the title sponsor. And then there is the betting company Betway. So I don't think the PSL will struggle, but I understand why ABSA pulled out. 140 million in this climate is a lot of money. And their money, along with SuperSport's 600 million a year for broadcast rights, has really elevated the PSL into one of the most lucrative leagues and where we play our players really well. So thank you to ABSA for the 16 years that they've been with the PSL.
Yeah, bro, it's been absolutely magic. And what warms my heart is that they said, look, we're not going to potentially completely break ties. You might get involved with a cup competition, still a couple of million, but not the 140 cap that we're doing annually.
Yeah. Look, I think they did their bit. They did. 16 years is a long time to support the local game. Yeah. And I mean,
their voice broke. They went through puberty. They did everything.
Dude. And I mean, the clubs used to get 1 million rand grants per month. Now they get 2.5 million rand per month. That is not chump change. So ABSA has done their bit. I think they can walk away knowing that they did well.
Fantastic, Mr. Lewis. Now, we're very excited. I say we because I know that at heart we love all sports, but we're cricketers by nature. Putt cricketers turned club cricketers, trying schoolboy provincial cricketers, failed senior club cricketers, right?
I'm glad you said failed.
But senior club cricketers, but with good hearts. So
Yeah.
cricket's returned, three-match test series. West Indies touchdown in the UK on Tuesday ahead of the first test in Southampton against England. They're living in a secure bubble. They're training at Old Trafford now 14 days. ICC comes out, confirms the saliva law. You can't shine the ball with saliva anymore. There's penalties involved. I'm not a fan of it.
Crazy. Look, you have to understand where they're coming from. It's a global pandemic. We don't 100% know everything about this virus. So I understand that. But, I mean, if I can have Test cricket back on the 8th of July, and part of the reason I get it back is if players can adhere to not shining the ball, I'll take it with all that I got. I'm just so excited to see cricket again. I mean, I think the last international game was on the 13th of March or maybe just after that. I'm not sure, but mid-March. So it's been a long time, Dylan, and it seems like I'll take the West Indies and England. I'll take anyone, to be honest, even if Afghanistan played there.
Bro, we just want to see live action, and South Africans, hopefully, we are in the green zone and given the green light by government, both India and South Africa's government, for a 3-match T20 series against India in August. It's a tough spot because, again, lockdown level 1 was kind of when we were essentially going to resume. You think our government will break some laws and ease it up a bit?
Apparently, the word coming from CSA is that the 27th of this month could be the start of a little domestic competition. Because remember, we potentially have series against West Indies and India in August. So they still need to select the team. So there might be provincial cricket at the end of this month. So don't be surprised if that happens, or early July. But they still need to play cricket in order to select. So we could be in for a treat there. It's still winter, so I'm not sure how exactly they're going to work this, because they want to have a bio bubble in Johannesburg apparently. What do you think?
But look, the good thing is if they do play, it will allow us to have some game time before ICC T20 World Cup in Australia, if that doesn't get postponed.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I look forward to. I think our 30 seconds is up, but the ICC, they're supposed to be making a call very soon on whether to have it this year. But they did say, look, they want to have it this year, but they have made plans to host it in February, March next year.
Yeah. Well done, Carl Lewis. I just want to say I am so proud of us. We are somehow being punctual tonight with our time segment.
Clyde could learn a thing or two about this punctuality.
For those of you who don't know, Clyde Cubido is our producer, aka Bas ANG. So if you have cigarettes, please make sure that you post it to Clyde Cubido. Right? Football-wise, I know you are over the moon about this. La Liga officially resumes tonight. Real Betis up against Sevilla. Big one. Barca and Madrid. A title race. Only 2 points separating them. This is what we want in Spanish football.
Yes, thank goodness. There's some more football coming back. Tonight, it's the Sevilla derby, Sevilla versus Real Betis. 2 very exciting teams. So if you've missed football, tonight is not the worst night to actually catch up with the game, because it's quite a lekker game to watch. But you said it's a 2-horse race, Dylan. Unfortunately, yet again, it is. And the weirdest thing is that both Barcelona and Real Madrid have been far from their best. But them being far from their best might produce one of the best La Liga title races in recent history, which I'm very excited about.
And Messi's back. He's fit. He trained alone last week on 2 occasions. They were worried that he's got a niggle. But having the goat back, I mean, geez, that's all you can ask for as you resume a really tough period. I don't know if you have anything to.
And I think there's a Ronaldo-sized hole. Obviously, and the guy was scoring 50 goals every season for Real Madrid. Of course, you're going to miss him. But I think there's also something in it where both Ronaldo and Messi were kind of making each other elevating each other to reach another level. That competition just brought the best out of them. And I think this post Ronaldo La Liga, it has been a bit slow. But look, this title race, never mind that Ronaldo's gone and Barcelona and Real Madrid aren't at their best. The title race is genuinely exciting. It's interesting. With 8 games to go, well, it's match day 31. Yeah, 8 games to go, I think. There's only 2 points. And I think this is exactly what we need, what we want out of La Liga, because usually it's been a runaway train for either Madrid or for Barcelona. So this is what La Liga desperately needs.
Yeah. You don't want to see the dominance that Bayern Munich have in the Bundesliga. I just want to jump into that Ronaldo comment. He's playing for Juve in the Serie A. It's Coppa Italia semis. Juve up against AC and Napoli against Inter. I personally don't watch Italian football. I have a personal view that Ronaldo made it relevant again to those who don't care about it. Is that harsh?
No, that's not harsh, Dylan. That's not harsh. Okay. And I mean, we have a few seconds until our next topic, so that's a perfect way to introduce it. You're not wrong there, Dylan. Look, Italians are mad over football. I mean, they have their own word for it, calcio. So they are mad over football. The game is never going to die in that country. But the marketability of that league definitely it was a much needed injection, that Ronaldo. Just their social media stats alone. I mean, all Juventus's and the league's accounts like almost doubled. Their YouTube subscriptions was 136% in like the first 2 weeks of him being there. Social media across the board, I think there was a 50% raise in followers. So his impact cannot be underestimated. It was a very shrewd investment by Juventus. They knew what they were. They weren't just bringing one of the best players in the world, but they were bringing this this global icon, this brand with them that meant the world's eyes were going to be on them.
Yeah, very clever. We're speaking about the world's best players. We were very blessed as a country to have one of them in our midst for a good 12 seasons. The legend hung up his boots for the Blitzboks this week. I'm so disappointed. We bid farewell to Cecil Africa. But
wait, Dylan, we still got some time on our Coppa Italia, and I haven't even spoken about it.
Oh, what? This is how much I in football.
Okay, because I really do want to speak Coppa Italia, because it's 2 great semi-finals. It's the Italian Cup.
Tell Coppa Italia to me as a person who is disinterested or not interested.
Semi-final second leg, we've got Juventus and AC Milan, 2 giants of the game. Yes. Then on Saturday, you've got Napoli and Inter Milan. So Juventus lead AC Milan 1-0 from the first leg. It's a 1-1 in the Inter-Napoli game. But those are 4 of the biggest teams to welcome back Italian football. Unfortunately, SuperSport only has the rights for Serie A and not Coppa Italia. So you're going to have to sail the 7 seas and be a pirate if you want to watch it.
When you say be a pirate, does that mean you use your neighbor's Wi-Fi to get an illegal line and stream it?
I'm not going to say those words. I'm not going to say that. You can judge. You can take out whatever you want from what I said.
You know, when someone's talking and they start doing this.
I don't know why I was doing that.
Interpret the vibes to say you can do what you like.
But last thing on Italian football, it doesn't get the attention it deserves. And I think because it has that reputation of being very defensive. But this season, the Serie A has been just below the Bundesliga in terms of goals per game. So it's been a very exciting Serie A season. And Inter, Lazio, and Juventus are in line for the challenge, in line for a title. So it's not a runaway Juventus thing again.
Nice, that's good. We want the gears of competitiveness to prevail. That's the main thing. I like this. No specific dominance. Now we move along, Paul. To our listeners and our viewers, our 3.75 million from all around the world. Jump into the comment section. Our World Cup winning Springbok Stormers and VP lad Damian Willemse hops on in the next 5 minutes or so. So please, in the comment section, if you have any questions for Damian, any questions for us, please chuck it in. We'd like to hear your thoughts. Before we get to him, back into rugby, and I jumped the gun just because I have set up so many early hours in my life to watch this man. I've shed a tear or 10 while watching this man. I've said you mustn't push because of the passion that I have for this guy. Cecil Africa confirming that he's hanging up his Blitzbox boot. Hopefully, he can still be selected for the Olympics, but internationally, he's bidding farewell. Very disappointing, but a great career.
Your superb career. I mean, he is the Blitzbox icon for the time the Blitzbox were just a small little sevens team, but they became this brand that South Africa can just be proud of, this machine of a team. And I think Cecil has been through that from the start. You know, he made his debut in 2009, and it's an illustrious career. He is the 7th highest point scorer of all time. Obviously, he's South Africa's highest sevens point scorer with 1,462 points, I think.
Yep, confirmed. That's correct.
I mean, he's 7th on the all-time list. This man is a legend of the game. And I think, obviously, sevens doesn't get the attention that 15s get, but you have to pay respect for, firstly, his longevity and being able to keep up that level, to be that good for so long. He's a special player.
I personally hope Coach Neil Powell selects him for the Olympics. I am hoping they do, because I think he still has a lot to offer. But where does he go from here? Do you reckon he's going to try to get a 15s contract, which we've seen has been the trend?
That's apparently. I read a quote that he might try and play 15s at a union. I mean, the guy is such a skillful player. I would love to. And he's 32, turning 33 this year. Yep. If he says he has gas in the tank, I'm sure he has gas in the tank. So I think there is someone here in South Africa that can kind of make use of his skills somewhere. I think he's too young to say goodbye to the game.
Way too young to say goodbye to the game. But we bid farewell either way. Cecil, thank you so much for the amazing memories. And thank you for pioneering the movement of dreadlocks within the Blitzbox squad, because they all followed you.
We need that. I think around the world, the Blitzbox are known for being amazing, fast, and have dreadlocks.
Yeah.
He definitely started at 10 there.
Yeah.
Franco, Justin.
Gadult, as the commentators say. Okay, so heading into one of the sections of the show, we interview our guest. I'm not going to introduce this individual today, specifically because my partner in crime, Carl Lewis, is over the moon. He's such a fanboy, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you know when you get all giggly when someone tells you you're going to meet one of your heroes? This is exactly what Carl has been like. Look at, he's even laughing.
I'm 10 years older than this gentleman. We can't be saying things like that.
Look at him. His voice is even going high-pitched, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm very excited for Carl to introduce this young man. I'm not going to say more because I don't want to steal Carl's thunder, and it is raining already. So Carl Lewis, over to you. Who are we chatting to tonight?
Okay, well, we're chatting to a World Cup winner, a 22-year-old born in Strand, went to Paul Roos, was a schoolboy sensation, went on to play Craven Week. He played professional rugby his first year out of high school. So he started very early. He's only 22 years old. He won the World Cup in Rassi's squad last year. His brother as well, Ramon Samuels, is also a Stormer. So he has a serious rugby pedigree, having come from Paul Roos in Stellenbosch. I mean, his pedigree speaks for himself, and he's achieved so much at such a young age. But there's still a lot of chapters still to be written, and I think that's what we want to find out tonight, Dylan. What he sees in his career and how he wants it to pan out. It's Damian Willemse, Stormers and Springbok Playoff. Here we go. Hi, Damian.
Can you clap with me as
well? Good evening, guys. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for having me on the show, guys.
Well, we need to tell the audience first, the viewers first. Like, we had about an hour and a bit discussion last week, obviously because of Clyde's mess up. But sorry, Clyde. The viewers need to know. The viewers need to know. So we had a lovely discussion last week offline. So thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. I know you've been busy in lockdown. Do you want to tell us what you've been up to during lockdown?
Firstly, guys, thank you so much for having me, Carl, Clyde, Dalen. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's always a privilege to be on your guys' show, and I haven't been on it yet, but obviously last week was quite lekker to have a lekker discussion and to chat a bit ball with you guys. So yeah, the lockdown has been good. Obviously, it's been struggling at times, with the training and stuff, not being able to go outside and stuff, but yeah, it's been good. It's been teaching me a lot about like training and stuff and where I want to go. Also been focusing a lot on the mental aspect of the game and been watching a lot of TV documentaries about other teams, such as the NFL. I watched the on Prime Video as well of Manchester City, and it was really interesting for me to see how people outside rugby, professional players, do their sport and how they do their job, especially from a physical point of view. Those guys train extremely hard, and yeah, I've been thinking that rugby is a tough sport and rugby guys train hard. So yeah, it's been lekker. As you mentioned as well, you like this lockdown. I must say, I'm also feeling this lockdown. It's been lekker to spend time with the family. Obviously missing the game, but yeah, so grateful to be here for other things as well.
Damian, I just want to jump in with what you said about one of your lockdown activities where you busy watching docies of other sports teams online. So I feel like you were a student of the game at a very young age, looking into the theory but off the field psychology. Where does this stem from? Is this a natural progression where you're just keen on learning all the time, or is it something you picked up recently?
Yeah, that's me. I always want to learn. I always want to get better. I think it's important, for young players such as me, as myself, to be open to learn all the time. And yeah, that's just that. There's so much out there to learn, especially from top pro players like those guys in the NFL, those guys in the Premier League, and just to see the level they're on and how professional they are. I think sometimes we can fall into this bubble to think like we've done enough or we're professional enough when we're actually not. And just to see like, level they're on. Obviously, they have a lot of other resources that we don't have, financially and stuff as well. Their clubs as well, and their franchises. But yeah, just always eager to learn, and as you mentioned, just to be a student of the game and just learn as much as I can possible.
Yeah, David, I think a lot of South African fans, sports fans, are missing the game. Have you guys been, as Western Province or Stormers management, been in contact with you with regards to returning? When is that likely?
Yeah, so look, obviously we got the green light to go to training, but only one-on-one training. So we've been in on last week Monday just to do a bronco test, which is our normal fitness test at the rugby. And yeah, we did that. But otherwise, we've been meeting over Zoom calls. The leadership has been meeting and stuff like that. So we've been active. We've done a lot of fun stuff as well, just to keep the guys going and to keep that energy levels in our team. We know Coach Sean Dobson, he loves a lekker team, gees. So yeah, it's been lekker to meet up with the guys and see the guys' faces and to just have a chat and have some banter over a call. So yeah, definitely missing the game and yeah, missing the fans as well and everything that comes with it. On the Saturdays aren't the same anymore.
Yeah, I can imagine, bruh. But look, there's a rumor in going around. I won't say in the camp because it's happening in the camp that you guys had a moustache challenge or a beard challenge at the start of lockdown. Is this true? Oh.
Yeah, we did. We had a mustache beard challenge in the start of lockdown. Didn't go too well for me. I'm still, as you can see, I'm still trying to go. I'm gonna cut it as soon as lockdown's done. But yeah, winning? It's been lekker. It's been fun. I think Frans Malherbe or Norman Laker. I think it's between those two guys. They've got extremely thick bars. Yeah. So yeah, that's not for me. I'm still looks like I'm still 16 or something. Yeah.
We love your classic look, bruh. We love your classic look.
Damian, so I think the biggest question, I think this is the big question around you has been, playing 10 or 15. And I know you get asked it a lot, but what is your thoughts on the whole 10, 15, where you should play debate? And, a lot is also written in the media about that. Does that affect you at all?
Yeah, Carl, I wouldn't say it doesn't affect me. Obviously, for me, I just want to play the game. I want to play rugby and play to the best of my ability. It doesn't matter which position I'm playing at the end of the day. We all know at the Springboks, Coach Rassie, Coach Shark, and his team are looking at me to play number 10 and I play number 15. Obviously, same at Stormers. Stormers, I've been packed at number 10. Obviously, John Luke's leaving now as well. So it fills another gap there. We'll probably have to look at bringing a youngster like Cade or Abner into Super Rugby and breed them as soon as possible. Anything might happen. Guys can get injured as we saw this season with all our Springboks. I think 6 of them got injured. So it's important that we breed the next few youngsters as well. But for me, I would just say, for me, it's just focusing on the process and just getting to my best of my ability and playing the game which I love.
So it doesn't matter. Sorry, Dad.
No, it's fine.
So it doesn't. You just want to be on the field, Damon.
Yeah, regardless, I don't really mind which position I'm playing. For me, I'm very happy playing both positions, number 10 and number 15, which I've been doing really well in the last two to 3 years. So yeah, it's just for me. I just want to get onto the pitch and play and perform, and just give my best to the team and make sure that we can win the game at the end of the day.
You spoke about the youngsters that are going to be coming through the ranks and moving into the Super Rugby squad and system. Just from your side, still very young, 22 years old. So 4 years ago, you were in matric, just to give people perspective.
Yeah.
From schoolboy rugby, provincial rugby, national juniors, then you go into a space where there's provincial rugby at senior level, then Currie Cup, then Super Rugby, and then national level. How fast does the game and the pace change? How do you adapt? Is it mentally, physically? Do you have time to think? What's the deal?
Yo, Dylan, that's a very good question. I haven't had a question like that yet. So yeah, it was actually first Super Rugby and then Currie Cup. So I actually made my Super Rugby before I played Currie Cup. So I mean, everything you mentioned, it's both. Mentally, physically, you have to be switched on. You have to learn as quick as possible. I had about 4 months, 3 months before I made my debut. I made my debut, I think, in March against the Kings. And from there, the rest was history. So, I think it's just all about, backing yourself as well. When you're at that age and getting that opportunity, you have to make the most of that opportunity, which I did. I would say you have to, as a youngster coming up, it's important that you learn as quick as possible. And that's what I mentioned of being a student of the game. Just learning as much as you can. Surround yourself with say if you're number 10, surround yourself with those guys.
Nice.
Behind, do your extras, do what you have to do. And just be yourself and back yourself, play your natural game, which is really important. And just go out and express yourself. I know it's easier to say, but I think those are the stuff that I did which helped me.
Damien, did you make your professional debut a year after being out of high school?
Yes, professional Super Rugby. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
So 3 months after,
yes.
4 months after, because I joined. I wrote exams November. I think the 16th or 12th of November was my last exam, and then literally the Thursday I started training at the Stormers. Literally.
So this is what I want to ask you, Damien. I mean, in high school, you playing for Paul Roos. Obviously, you were a fan of all these people. Okay, so when you walked into Stormers training, professional training, was there someone you were excited to meet, and who were you very, very scared of? And also, who surprised you? Who welcomed you into the group? Who made you feel comfortable? I'd love to know about that experience coming in there as like this 18-year-old.
Yeah, look, no, this was epic for me, and especially being a Cape Town boy, and being watching the Stormers at Newlands, and these guys are my heroes, and I've literally like looked up to them, and I still look up to them. They are great role models, not only for me but to all the youngsters out there. For me, I'd say I was the scariest of Reinhard Alstad and even probably.
That makes sense.
But Reinhard Elstad is really such a lekker dude and someone to have fun with, and especially on the training pitch as well. One of the hardest working oaks I know in the forwards. And yeah, I must say, a nice guy. Was always kitsy welcomed me so lekker. I didn't think that he would be that nice, and yeah, he made me feel so welcome at the Stormers. Had a lekker chat with him. And Johan de Jong, I think probably I was excited to meet him. I've always wanted to play with him since high school. He's such a baller, such a natural baller, and the way he plays the game, the way he communicates, it's a lot like how I play the game. Like doesn't give anything away. Very competitive, and just the way he plays rugby, fearless. So yeah, it was lekker to meet him and to train with him, and especially guys like Chislin Colby, Dylan Lates, the list goes on. There's so many guys that I can mention now. Even Janu Vermaak. So yeah, it was lekker. I'd say Johan de Jong. Yeah.
Nice. Listen here, Carl. David's very relaxed about what an amazing talent he is. While inside we are busy going, "Yo, this bra is gaaf." Right?
Yeah.
So you I'm still wrapping my head around this. So 18 years old, 3 months after matric finals, where are you when you get the phone call to say that you need to report for Stormers duty and you're going to be making your debut? Who are you with, and what's that moment like? Because you just found out you passed matric. Now you must go play Super Rugby.
Yeah, literally. And after that, it was still preseason. Obviously played raids. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to go to played raids. So yeah, and then there was a few other youngsters at the club as well. And obviously, I was signed to train with the guys during the preseason in December. And the other guys were signed at Marty's and the Institute, and they were training there. So then the boss, which was Coach Flecky, he called me in and he was like, "Listen, you just got out of school. I'm not gonna be that guy. I want you to enjoy it because after this, it's gonna be work." And then he allowed me to go, which was lekker. And I was like, "Yeah." In that time, we were just doing fitness, so it was lekker. And then to get back to your question, I was at under 20 training. We were still prepping for the Junior World Cup, and then one day we were doing a backs split session, and then Coach Louis gathered us, and he was like, "I have a special announcement to make," and he was like, "Guys, Damian is gonna make his Super Rugby debut this weekend against the Kings." Then I went back home, got my kit, and I was on the plane with the guys, and it was so special, especially to be at home as well that time, to come and see my parents and all of them, to wish me, and it was special time for me.
Nice. And going into the national team, that must be also quite intimidating for a young man, because I think you went there when you were 20 or 21. I'm not 20. Sure. 20. Going to the bar camp, what were you fearing? What was your thoughts going to the bar camp?
Yeah, for me it was just like it was like this, not like tension, but like I was just like, I have to live up to the standard now, and because this is like literally the highest level you can get in rugby, playing for your national side. And I always knew that I had the ability and to play there, but now it was the test of like, can you perform under pressure? Can you perform with this responsibility on your shoulder? And yeah, for me, it was just all about, living up to that expectation and proving myself that I can. And obviously, just to go out and make the country proud first and foremost.
Dude, I now, Damon, I agree with what you're saying, and I love that you're being so open with us. But when the Booker play, I stand up wherever I am. I put my hand on my heart and I sing the
Yeah.
national anthem. And a lot of the times, I'm drawn to tears just with the beautiful words of our anthem and seeing the guys in the pride. What was that moment like singing it for the first time in the green and gold?
Wow, I can't describe it. For me, it was like just like a dream come true. Especially like looking up and seeing everyone in the stands, singing along with you, the whole stadium singing with you, and you're gonna run out for your country now in a few seconds. So yeah, it was really special for me, and obviously an honor and a privilege to have been in that position, to sing the national anthem in South Africa in front of our home fans and our friends and family. So yeah, it was a huge honor for me.
Lovely
Dave,
stuff.
sorry I
Wait.
left for 2 seconds.
No,
Sorry.
you about can just comment and call David. Did you see disappear? Did you see that as well?
I wanted
I
to.
saw that.
Sorry, David.
What? Did you see?
No, man.
Where did you go?
Okay.
I didn't see here.
I just saw my batteries on 2%. I was like, okay, I need to do something here. So I thought I'd switch off my camera and then I'd go. Could you still see me?
No.
No, we
Okay.
couldn't.
So I tried to see. I tried to see how I could be sneaky.
Yes.
So I assume it didn't. I assume it didn't work.
No,
No.
it was horrible. Look,
Okay.
Damien, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but Carl doesn't pay his electricity bill. So
Who pays it is Oma.
yeah.
Last night it happened to me as well on a call with you, Dylan. My electricity just went.
I'm convinced.
It's not prepaid electricity. I pay at the end of every month. That's
Look,
how it works. So
the
it's
more
not prepaid. So I can't run out of units. I'm just bringing it out.
The more guilty you are, the more you explain it. If you know where Carl Lewis lives, go check his wife. He's connected to the neighbors, please. Okay.
Can I ask Damien a question?
This is all about your love for Damien, Carl. Go for it.
Damien, I want to know. I think a lot of people don't know much about Jacques Nienaber. Now, you've obviously spent time with him. He's always been Rassie's right-hand man. And he's been there for Rassie's whole journey. Even when the Stormers were hot under Alistair Coetzee, he was the defense coach. But not much is known of him as a head coach. I think this is his first head coach position. Could you enlighten some of our South African fans on what type of guy Jacques Nienaber is? He comes across very well in his interviews, but I'd love to hear it from your perspective, a player who's working with him.
Yeah, Carl, for me, he's probably one of the hardest working coaches that I know, probably one of the best coaches, along with Coach Rassie, that I've worked with. And yeah, I've been privileged enough to have worked with him since under 18, where we played the under 18 schools tournaments. He's been our defensive coach and been helping us. So we have a good relationship. Obviously, he knows me and we know each other well. And we've got that that connection, or not connection, but relationship, coming from schools. So yeah, as I mentioned, he's a really good coach, just how he handles the players, how he coaches us. Yeah, he's a world-class coach, and yeah, it's been a pleasure to work with him.
What's his biggest strength? Sorry, Dylan, I know it's supposed to be 1-1, but I'd love to know what you feel is his biggest strength as a coach.
Yeah, obviously we all know him as the defense coach, but just as I mentioned, his work ethic, how he works, how he gets us through the week in training. It really makes us feel really comfortable and calm and relaxed. It makes us see situations that he wants us to see during the week that we're gonna face on the weekend. So once we get to the game, we've seen that situations about 3 to 4 times, and he's so familiar with that. And yeah, that all goes into his work ethic, how he plans the week, and obviously how he gets us up and gets us going and motivated for the week. And after that, he sits back and they let us go do the job. And yeah, I must say that's probably one of his biggest strengths that I've enjoyed, working with him.
I wanna jump in there and link it to Ninaba as well as Coach Rassi. You mentioned Dobson too. Just about the amazing team culture that they've created within the Stormers and Springbok camp over the past with Dobson over the past year and a bit. I've loved what I've seen in the Stormers camp, and then with the Bokke, it's just this amazing space of we know our identity and we know what we
Yeah.
stand for, but we do it as a team. That must be something special to be part of as a player, and just allowing you to dig deep into that self-belief and performing to the best of your ability.
Yeah, very special, very important as well. I think like we as a country, we've come a long way, and you guys probably know much more than I do. But like, yeah, just for me, coming into that environment and seeing how the guys treat each other, the way the guys love the game, and how they help each other, it's big. And obviously, like now with even at the Stormers, we said like we want to get Cape Town smiling, we want to invest more in our community. It's more than a game. And yeah, just things like that. The guys are willing to give back. We've seen Sia, Cheslin, Skara, all those guys, Justin Geduld, all those guys, investing back into their communities, with the coronavirus pandemic now. So yeah, it's great to see that, these guys are really humble, they're so humble, they go back, they give back. And yeah, I must say like that's where it comes from, and yeah, it's really great to see.
Damon, we closing in on 9 o'clock, and I still have a few questions. But let's see if we can get through it. First of all, I want to know: do professional rugby players ever get scared? Like if I saw Urban running at me, I would be scared. If I saw Lamape running at me with his thunder thighs, I would be scared. Do professional rugby players ever get scared?
I'm not sure. I don't get scared, but I'm not sure if there are players that do get scared. But yeah, for me, it's all about, there's so much adrenaline and, all of that, going into the game, before the game, while you're in the game. It's all about defending and protecting. I always call it that. You wanna play to your best of your ability, and you wanna ensure that your effort and what you're contributing towards the team, is the best. You don't want to go out there and give it half-heart. The coach is selecting you. The fans are, you weet hulle maak start op jou, and yeah, that's it for me. But I wouldn't say like I get scared. I don't know.
So you've never been scared, is what you're saying.
So then,
Nah.
I truly believe, because like my former colleague, my current colleague, former professional rugby player Morgan Newman, I spoke to him one day and said, "How do you tackle?" And he tried to show me. I said, "No, this looks very dangerous. It's fine." I was just scared of him showing. So you play fearless rugby, which is awesome, right? But which player locally or internationally do you know is going to put in some big knocks? And if you run into him, you're going to be seeing a bit of stars, even though you're going to get up.
Good cue.
Phew, that's a good question, a tough question. Locally, I would say there's a few. Like, I know Kwagga Smith he's a very hard man to stop.
Yeah.
What's his name, man? Dwayne. Yeah, I'd say those guys. Obviously, Kukrill's not here anymore, but he was also a force.
Yeah, he was dynamic. Yo.
Yeah, yes, flipping tough guys. Mostert as well. He's also a tough guy to stop. Like we have such tough guys in our country, to stop.
Shit.
Even the Dupree brothers. I played against them now recently in England, against Sale Sox, and gee whiz, we played with our academy team, and they literally destroyed us single-hand, both of them, just running at us.
Just physically.
And yeah, they were just coming all the time, and probably just because they've got that experience as well. But yeah, I'd say, those are the few names that's just on top of my head. There's a lot more players, that I can mention.
And who's your favorite player or favorite players? Who do you love watching?
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say definitely number one has to be Quaid. Then I'd say Moleskada. Yeah, I think those are my two what I can remember now, top 2 guys that I would love to play with.
A follow-up on that. Didn't Quaid once make mention of you being a baller on social media? Have you made contact with him? Have you spoken to him?
Yeah,
Yes, boy.
we do still have a conversation over Instagram. We do still chat. He's a good guy. I had a chat with him about a year ago, 2 years ago, while we played against them in Melbourne, Rebels against the Stormers, and I obviously got to meet him. So yeah, it gave me a bit of tips there, and helped me a little bit. Just told me to just enjoy the game and enjoy everything else coming with it, and just to keep working hard and those kind of chats, which I'm really grateful for. He's a great player. He served the Australian rugby a lot. He won the Super Rugby with the Reds, and he's been all over the world. He played Toulon, and the list goes on. He's a well decorated player, and to get a bit of information and tips from him, is really I really appreciate that, and it really does go a long way. So really happy to have a role model like him.
Lekker.
And you couldn't have chose a better guy to be in touch with, man. Skills for days. And
skills for days. Have you seen his latest IG stuff? Yo, that's next level.
that pass, like, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I mean, he's got outrageous skills.
To jump onto that call, and Damian, this is a weird thing, but I know footballers do it a lot, exchanging jerseys. It's quite a memorable thing depending on the match. Is that a big thing in rugby? If so, like, how do you identify the players? Before the game you go, I'm exchanging with Quaid, he's mine. I called him, he's dubs, he's mine. How does it work?
Good question.
I mean, it depends. At Super Rugby, not really. We don't really, unless you have a jersey from your previous season or whatever you want to swap. But I know at Super Rugby, we get our jerseys at the end of the season. Whereas if you play Test Rugby, you get 2 jerseys for every test. So we usually swap the one that we have or we played in, and then we swap that with either our opponent or like our number, the guy you went up against, or you swap it with whoever, So it's really about like just that feeling. If you want to swap it with Sia and you were on the bench and he says, let's swap, then you can swap,
Who's your roommate, Damon? If you go on tour to New Zealand, either for both actually, the Stormers and the Boks, who's your roomie?
Dylan Leitz. So he just DM'd me. He said he loved my work. Dylan Leitz. Yeah, we both from the Strand.
I love Dylan.
We both from the Strand, and obviously our dads played together rugby, and we know each other quite well. And as I mentioned, he's one of my friends from Strand, so we know each other quite well. So it's easy for us to have that connection.
So, can I jump in here again, Dylan?
You can. I just want to find out before I let you jump.
I thought it was your show, Carl.
He keeps asking.
I feel like I'm asking too many questions that I don't want Dylan to not ask, man. I just get on a roll.
I'm enjoying it. This is for you. But because you're asking, I'm going to ask. Why, since when has Strand become the breeding ground for such amazing rugby players? Like, what's happened, bro?
And skillful.
Carl and Dylan. No, Strand has always, had the talent and had the rugby players. I just think like we struggled over the years to get those guys out there, to get them to schools like Paul Roos, and to get them, on stages where they'll be seen. Most of the guys has just been like at Strandhoor or at HH or at PV. They never got the opportunity to play against a Paul Jim and play on a Super Sport or play on a SS Live and stuff like that. Those guys always go to the pre trials. Where you play those 16 rounds. Whereas we already in the elite squad, or we've already been scouted or identified. So over the past few years, I must say, like, there's been a lot of investing and scouting going on here in our communities, which enabled our guys to get that exposure and get to that level where they can be seen and maybe get opportunities, say at the Griquas or at the Kings or wherever. So it's been lucky to see that and the guys coming through, and obviously with us being on that level now, we can also do our bit, in exposing the younger talents or younger guys to come through.
shout out to you guys for playing your part, for opening the door. That's awesome.
Yeah. One of the last questions here, because I know we're running out of time, but you were speaking about Dylan Lades, and obviously he's moving overseas. He's been a great servant for Cape Rugby. I know you've gone to Saracens, but that was a short-term loan. What is the general sentiment with Springbok rugby players about moving overseas? Because we've seen the value that it has. I mean, Cheslin became, he really developed at Toulouse, whereas Faf at Sale Sharks, he also developed. Willie also became a better player with his time at Wasps. So what is the sentiment? What are you guys as pros thinking? Should I go there for not only for the money, but the development? What's the thought process? And would you go overseas once again?
Yeah, very good question, Cole. For me, I'd say, it's really important, and we can see it as the years go on. The market is like demanding, not demanding, but like players to go over, and that's just how it's gonna turn out, and how it's turning out at the moment. We're seeing players playing abroad, and it's getting more to like where it's like with the soccer and stuff. It's irrelevant of where you're playing. I think it's about that development, as you spoke about. We've seen with guys like with Faf and Willie and Chezzy, and even there's a lot of other guys.
Alstad, who you mentioned, amazing, right?
Alstad as well. I mean, like if you look at guys like John Ross, we've seen guys like Esley Johnson. How his rugby is elevated, and he's on a next level now. I actually played against him, and just to see how well respected he is with the family at Wasp, and the fans. So I think it's just like the way the market is moving. People, players are getting offers to go overseas, not only for the money, but obviously that there's other benefits that come with it as well. And it's obviously lacquer. It's lacquer to see. You wanna be in that position where you can be like, I can go to Toulouse or to a Saracens, and I can win trophies there or whatever. I can develop there as a player, and obviously give my best to the team, and stuff like that.
I wanna just go back to the World Cup, because we haven't touched on it a lot. Nothing too in depth. That journey for you was very special, given the circumstances before, injury wise. Then tournament started. You got a call up. I can tell you now, South Africa was over the moon. My friends and I cried. We cried. It was a beautiful day.
Carl, did you cry?
I was so happy. So getting the call up, and then just having the most memorable and historic campaign with such a special group of players and management in a country where they learned to sing our national anthem. It's very tough to summarize, but what was that all like, Damian? It must have been like you were living in a dream for a few weeks.
And he scored his first international try.
Thank you.
Big. Dylan, to be honest with you, it was such a roller coaster, and it was definitely like this dream. It all started, obviously, the injury I got. It was I think a week ago. I got 2 weeks ago. I got the injury, and I went for my operation this week a year ago, and it was just like I couldn't believe it. But like I knew that my knee wasn't lacquer, so for me it was always like I've been playing with it, and it just got to a point where I was like, I can't play with it anymore. It's just physically I couldn't. And then obviously got I got a few offers. I got one from Edinburgh in Scotland, and then obviously from Saracens as well. Edinburgh offered me more, and for me, my head wasn't even like at the money, as you mentioned earlier. Like, we don't want to go over there just for money. We want to go out over there for our development. And obviously, I knew the best place where I was going to develop was at Saracens. And I said to my agent, "Listen, I'm going to go to Saracens. This is a non-negotiable. This is a no-brainer. I'm going to go to the best club in the world, or one of the best clubs in the world." And my time there was so I enjoyed every minute there. They're a real family, and it's been great to be a part of them. And then obviously, I got the call up to go to the World Cup, which was amazing, and just to see how the gears and the atmosphere was in Japan, that was next level. And yeah, obviously getting that opportunity to play for the country like a week after I got there, and yeah, I scored my first international try, which was amazing and a day that I will truly never forget. I will tell this to my children definitely.
Because Damien, we used that picture when you scored that first try, when you're going like this with the ball in your hand. Was that because you scored your first try? Because it meant so much?
Yeah, definitely. Like when Frans Steyn passed me that ball, and obviously everyone was scoring that day, and I was like, please God, just let me score my first try. And you know, I was literally running everywhere where the ball was, and I was like, you know, I wanted to score, and I was just like, good luck to everyone. I was like, well done, you know, and I was just like flipping else. I think it was the 63rd minute or something, and finally, you know, I knew this move was gonna work. I knew, but it was just like, you know, who's gonna go through the hole first, and then obviously the hole was open for me to go in, and yeah, it was just like in the moment, Carl. To be honest, you know, it was just like in the moment. I got the ball and everything just erupted, and I was just like from inside out. It was just like that one motion, and like, you know, yeah, it was just a crazy time.
I love that picture because it just says so much. You're going like this, and it's just like, okay, he loves playing for his country, and this obviously means something. And obviously, it was a game we were cruising in, you know. But just to see you going like that, it shows what Springbok rugby means to you guys.
I love that awkward silence.
We didn't ask the
question. Or
oh no, I was just saying. I was giving it to you. I was giving it to Dalen.
Okay, did you lay off? Did you lay it off?
Yeah, I was
that's my rugby force.
Appreciating that picture.
Yeah, but Carl, to just touch on that, you know, it's obviously, you know, that's just like the passion that I have for the game, and obviously it means a lot for me to play for the country. You know, it's as I mentioned earlier, it's an honor and a privilege, you know, to put the green and gold over your head, and obviously, you know, being labeled as a Springbok 910, you know, we all, you know, that's like what we signed up for, you know, and it means a lot for us when we go on the field, and every time we step our foot on the field, you know, with that green jersey on, we want to be the best version of ourselves, and we want to enjoy ourselves, and, you know, just play hard and play with that passion.
But I'm excited to see that celebration more often for the Bokke and for the Stormers. And I think that it's going to be something that we see in such beautiful poetry in motion, especially with Warwick Land now joining the Stormers. That's going to be...
Yes, sir.
Huh? You must be excited, bruh.
Yeah, very excited to have Warwick in Cape Town. You know, we all know that he's a quality player, and he's got a lot of attributes that can help our team. And yeah, I think it's a huge signing. Obviously, with Dylan leaving, you know, that's a massive gap that's going to be open there. So hopefully, you know, Warwick can step into that position, you know, and give the Stormers, help the Stormers, you know, again this season or next season, whenever we resume back to rugby now. So yeah, Dylan will definitely be missed in that number 15 role, but we're getting another quality player, world-class player into that position, which is great.
Nice.
Damien, before I ask you my last question, you were speaking about Warwick now, and I always think about who the most skillful player in South Africa is. And I would love you to, and you have to give an answer. Who do you think is the most skillful rugby player in South African rugby? They don't even have to be a Springbok. They just have to have great hands, or, you know, they just got that it thing. They just have great handling skills. Who do you think it is?
Can we get top three? Carl, can we get top three?
Yeah, top three.
Who do you think? That's a
tough one.
Yes, that's
a tough one.
I'd say Damian Willemse. He's one of those guys. He's got an incredible pass. Fully definitely has to be in there. Wow. Last one. When I give the last one to
yourself.
I said Dylan Leitz.
I would have expected that makes sense for me. I think the Damian one is a very interesting one, because I'm sure you guys can feel it being in the team that he was under a lot of pressure from the South African public But I just want to say that I was one of his fans throughout because, I mean, he has great attributes. I do want to say that. And you can ask my colleagues at work. We had decent arguments about his value. But I just want to speak about that. Does that filter through to the players, like where the public is on your case?
Yeah, it is there, you know. You can't look past it. Like, you know, we all have phones, we all have laptops, we all sometimes read the newspaper and all of those stuff. So we obviously see it, but, you know, it's our job as teammates, you know, to encourage each other, you know, to keep each other going, to keep each other up, and, you know, to stand with each other. I mean, like, we are teammates, and, you know, we have to be there for each other and support each other. It's the same, and like at your job, whatever, like you guys do. Sometimes, you know, guys around you struggle or whatever it might be, you know, they're facing adversities and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's just really about, like, you know, being there for one another and, you know, seeing this through. You guys are teammates and you have to help each other. So yeah, that's basically how we see it. It's, you know, going on, especially like for myself as well. You know, we all get criticized. We all, you know, go through tough times, you know, where we're not like performing or whatever it might be. So, yeah, it's just about supporting each other and being there for each other. You know, it takes a 23-man effort as well, you know, to get the job done at the end of the day, not only one guy.
I love that, because in our team here, me, Carl, and Clyde, we will sell each other down the river. I will sell Clyde down the river for being late any day of the week.
Damon, you know me, me and Clyde, we just oil and water.
Damien, as we wrap up and head to the end of a fantastic chat. I mean, I'm with Carl on this. I know we'd like to keep you here for longer, but we know that you got to wake up early for training and you got a busy schedule. I want to bring it back home to the amazing work that you're doing in the community. You're such a salt of the earth person. Be the Difference Foundation. You guys have been doing so much, making food parcels and just being out there to assist people locally during a really tough time with the COVID-19. Tell us more, please, man. So admirable.
Yeah, so, you know, it's been an honor for me and a privilege to work with those guys, you know, guys like Craig Berry, Grantham Abrams, Skara has come aboard, Sia has come aboard, Cheslin has come aboard, all these guys, you know, incredible humans and great rugby players on the field. But yeah, you know, it's obviously a tough time for all of us, especially for the people in our community who live off day-to-day jobs and day-to-day, you know, like money and stuff. And obviously, like, now you get that monthly income and stuff, you know, get taken away from you. So what do you do now? You know, now you've got 4 or 5 children staying in the shack or, you know, at home, and there's no income coming in. So that's basically where we want to assist the people, you know, giving them food, but not just giving them food, you know. We want to brighten up their day, you know. We want to make a friend. We are starting to, like, build that trust with the people now, where we're getting to know the people in the community a lot better. And so with that, you know, we're hoping to, you know, develop them and help them, maybe like getting jobs, you know, especially with the youth. And Youth Day coming up now, we've got some cool plans in order, you know, to help them. And we've got a few workshops that we want to touch on. But yeah, as I mentioned, you know, these are the people who have been investing in us, you know, as rugby players, watching us week in and week out, coming to Newlands, you know, spending their money on, say, petrol fee or tickets. And now it's just time for us to invest back and put it back into community. So yeah, that's like a
brilliant stuff, bro. Love it. Absolutely.
I take the last question, Dylan.
Carl Lewis, you deserve to close off this thing. David, I told you, he's head over heels here, bro.
I just like asking questions.
What do you want to ask?
Damon, I've been seeing on the socials, and Dylan and I have spoken privately about the work that you're doing. And for a youngster, I mean, you're 22 years old to be doing the work that you're doing daily and consistently. It's really good, and we can see the type of person you are. So keep it up. But the last question is,
for you. I take my hat. I will show my hair for you, bro. Take my hat.
Don't take that. The last question.
I've been following your journey. Your journey, Dylan.
Dylan,
You're
with
almost a
people
Humpty
are gonna
Dumpty.
laugh.
Yeah, almost.
The last question, Dylan, I thought the last question would be, if you could map out your ideal career, like achieving all the goals that you set, and don't leave no stone unturned, be open and honest, and of what you really want to achieve, and what would that look like? What would your career look like if you achieve all your goals?
Just rugby wise, eh? Like
Just rugby,
playing
yeah.
rugby. Yeah. For me, obviously, my big goal is to win as much trophies as I can for my club and my franchise, wherever I'm at, if it's Stormers or future, wherever I decide to go, is to win trophies and obviously, to om hoe kan ek sê in Afrikaans 'n bietjie waarde te voeg towards the club and to bring value. Whether it's like with the youth there or whatever, with the players and just with the club in itself. For me, like, my big goal is not to just be the number one player in the world and, all the players, I want to be the best in the world. I want to be IRP and stuff like that. For me, it's just like focusing on what I can focus on, to perform consistent to get me there, and if I do get there, it'll be a bonus. But obviously, just to go out every week and perform consistent, play the best of my ability, play the best I can for my team and for my teammates. And just take it from there. As I mentioned, it's important for me to win trophies. I want to win, and I want to take my club, and especially at the Stormers, I want to take us to that next level and win a Super Rugby, which we can do. So it's up to us and up to us to perform well. But I'd say that's probably my ideal career, and I wouldn't say that it's always been in my head to be IRP and just focusing on what I can.
Well said, champ. Well said. Well said. We appreciate you because I'm sure you're aware of it. Like, it's just so heartwarming seeing such a down to earth bro achieving all his possible goals, and you bring so many of us together on a Saturday to say you mustn't push when the referee makes bad calls. So we appreciate.
But Damon, we still have to criticize you if it comes to that, eh? We're just putting it out there.
Never.
On the field. I mean, on the field of play. If I have to criticize, we still gonna do that.
Yeah, obviously, you guys.
I'm biased. I will sell confidence. I am biased. I will use this interview as evidence. But Damian Willemse, our World Cup winning Springbok, Stormers lad and Western Province lad.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for allowing us to catch up during lockdown. We wish you nothing but the best for getting back to training and back to action. Hopefully in August. And we can't wait to continue watching your journey and seeing you do us proud in all three of those jerseys, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Clyde, Carl, Talon, and everyone at home who viewed and joined in. Thank you guys so much for
2 weeks
having me on the show. And hopefully we can do this again. I would love to jump on here again and chat with you guys a little bit more. But thank you so much, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice.
When we have we have to say that he's been on here for 2 weeks. We've actually kept Damon for like 2.5 hours. So thank you.
It's all Clyde's fault, man.
Yeah.
Clyde said last week off air that he's gonna send me some type of whiskey. What's it? Make a smoke or something like that. He said.
Yes.
Don't trust Clyde. You're learning.
Cheers, Dave.
Cheers, boys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Cheers. Right, Carl Lewis, and that's how we formally wrap up an attempt at the sports show. Before we do you mind if I just cite even that it's rugby jargon?
Yeah.
Okay, great fantastic. Jargon. Yeah, great jargon, bro. Just want to sidestep quickly and tell people that one of the icons of Cape Town and South Africa, Boeta Kassim, who we love to bits. He's made all of us laugh at Newlands over the past couple of years, 55 years in total. As a kid, club cricketer growing up, Carl, I'm sure you just share so much fond memories of him, even if you didn't play cricket.
You know him. If you've been to Newlands cricket, you know who Kasim is. And yeah, I mean, even if you have never met him personally, you know of him. I think he has that cult hero status in and around the cricket community.
And unfortunately, he's been struggling with his eyesight over the past few years, and he's due to have, this is such a big word for me, I never get it right. He's due to have a cataract.
Well,
that's a bad word for me to pronounce. He's due to have a cataracts operation, and he has put out a few requests for funding. EWN did an awesome interview, a lovely bio piece. I really love the way they shot it. Well done to the EWN team for putting so much dignity and
yes,
and that special touch to that that bio interview. I really enjoyed it. And then there's been a couple of media houses as well that's been posting articles. If you do want to donate to the cause, because we've called on our club cricketers, because Carl and I have a base in the club cricket community. I called them out on Twitter today. Well, not call them out, just requested, if you can donate 10 rand as a player or 110 rand as a team, as little as, we'd appreciate it. Even if you can't, just spread the word. Touch base with us. We'll give you all the specific donation details. But yeah, let's make sure that Kasim has many more years at Newlands.
Yes. Love it.
Aware. I must say goodbye.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's been, we went over an hour. So for those who are still watching, thank you for keeping us company and bearing with us. I thought it was a lekker interview with Damian. He's a very down-to-earth dude. And yeah, it was just lekker chatting to him. And lekker being with you too. I'm including you, Clyde.
Yes, it's been great, Clyde. You were on point. I think the show is 1 hour and 15 today. To our viewers that have stayed on throughout the entire hour, we appreciate you. Watch it in your lounge. You can't use your boss's Wi-Fi, so get your neighbor's Wi-Fi password. But before Carl says goodbye again, I even wrote the outro because we quite now we do formal stuff. So Carl, you say bye one more time.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into an attempt at a sports show. Episode 4 was fantastic. Our in-studio guest was Springbok World Cup winning Stormers and Western Province lad Damian Willemse, an absolute gem. We all know that the show is an essential service for those who miss live action during COVID-19. No masks or sanitizer is needed, only data, Wi-Fi, and the gears of a sports fan who misses live games more than smokers miss buying cigarettes legally. An attempt at the sports show. We'll see you next week.